YouTube, today I'm breaking down exactly what everyone wants to know. What is better, controller or mouse and keyboard? Let's go. Alright YouTube, just to jump right into it today. Everyone wants to know what makes you better in Call of Duty Warzone, or what's better. There's no right or wrong answer. But going over some data and having a little bit of practice on both now, I can really tell you what is going to work best for your playstyle. So, just to break it down for you guys, my background real quickly here, so I have some credentials. I have played Call of Duty since the original Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4 was one of the first games I ever played on Xbox 360. If you guys don't remember the Xbox 360, absolutely elite console. If you don't remember that, you're probably too young and coming up in the Call of Duty scene, and you're just going to be just like where I was. So, Call of Duty, back then, there was no competitive scene. You had to go out of your way, play game battles, which I'm pretty sure game battles is still a thing somehow, because they can't get rank system right in multiplayer. I was a very high-ranked GB player. I wasn't one of those people that left after one loss ever. Like, I grinded the ladder. Next, there's a couple games like World War II, for example, that actually got the ranking system right. At this point, I'm playing on a controller still. That's what, 2015-ish? Playing on controller still. 2015, 2016, I forget. It's one of those years. Still playing a controller, but I still got the highest rank in the game. I don't remember what it was in that game. Was it Diamond? I think it might have been something higher than Diamond. But I was playing against Scump. I'm playing against Rated. I'm playing against all those really good players at the time. And so, there's my credentials as a controller. I just got back into controller recently because when Fortnite came out and a couple other games like PUBG, H1Z1, I was terrible on this thing. So I gotta figure out how to get good on this. And I ended up being a top 250 player in the West Coast at one point on Fortnite when the big World Cup was happening. So I have credentials. I'm decent at both. Well, decent. I'm better than most of you guys, most likely. Not to be cocky or anything. But I have credentials. I want to break it down for you guys. What is the true differences in using a controller and using a mouse and keyboard? So, let's start with it first. So, obviously, there is different kinds of controllers in 2020. I used the Scuff back in World War II. Advanced Warfare was the first one I had, which I actually have. That's somewhere hidden now. But I tried to fix it a couple weeks ago and I ended up buying a new Scuff because I broke it. But the Scuff controller was a humongous game changer. You had buttons on the back of your controller. You didn't have to play Claw anymore, which everyone started playing Claw back in Halo because you had to be able to jump around and do all that good stuff. But the Scuff controller changed everything, especially in Advanced Warfare and some of those Call of Duties that you had to have that movement, guys. Like, if you didn't have that movement and running on walls and all that good stuff, there was just no shot. So the Scuff, it changed the game for controller. Because at one point, controllers were very limiting because yes, you had to play Claw, which, if you don't know Claw, it's when you hold the controller like this. Some people still do it. It's not comfortable. It's really bad for arthritis in the future. There's some people, I'm afraid, like Scump still plays it because he's just so used to it and so goated. But, so, that's a big thing that we need to talk about here. So that was something that happened. And then, mouse and keyboard, they just keep getting better and better. The keyboards get better, mouses get better. But consistently over time, it has always been known that you can be more precise with a mouse. More precise. So, in Call of Duty terms, now that I've played 99% of my time on mouse and keyboard in this game. I literally just started, I play about 3 to 4 hours a night, and I probably have 12-ish days, because I switch off between them, 12-ish days on the controller. I'm getting it back for sure, but I have to play on higher sensitivity than I used to play, because in multiplayer Call of Duty, you're kind of just holding angles and like you don't want super high sensitivity. In this Warzone game, to compete with mouse and keyboard, you got to play on high sensitivity. So for me right now, I think I'm like 8.8 or 6.6, something like that. I used to play in like 3, so 3.4. So it's a bit different for me. It took a little bit to adapt to it, but I think I'm starting to get a feel for it on most nights when there's not hackers killing me and stuff. But what I've noticed, let's just break down. I'm going to break down mouse first because I know everything about mouse and keyboard. You can change your keybinds. You can do a lot of stuff with a keyboard that you can't do on a controller. For some reason, they don't let you map your buttons on a controller the way you want to. But you can map them wherever you want on a keyboard and mouse, which is kind of frustrating because there's just certain buttons that I would love to have in a different spot, like my ping button. It just doesn't feel comfortable for me pressing the D-pad up. Like, I just don't like that. And you can't just map it somewhere else, which is kind of annoying. So that's one downside right away on the controller. But so advantage goes to keyboard on that one. But when you go to mouse, the big thing here, aiming. Let's just talk something big real quick here. So what I have noticed, sniping, if you are a good sniper on a mouse, you are 100% going to be a better sniper than someone on a controller. Yes, I was nasty at quick scoping at one point in my life. Yes, I've seen people snipe and be nasty with it with a controller, but typically you can just snap so much faster and more consistently with this. Like, it's just physics, guys. Like, you can literally just throw this thing in any freaking, see how fast that was? Any direction you want. This, you're limited to a circle movement. So you are limited at a certain point. So I think sniping is better. Long range gunfights, I'll take a mouse 100%. Medium range gunfights, if you can lock your aim assist in, it's nuts. So it's kind of hard to argument. Medium, long, I'm going to take the mouse and keyboard. So it's just, at the end of the day, you're way more precise with this. But we're talking Warzone here, guys. Warzone. Where is the precision in Warzone? Shooting people in the head is very important. Very, very important in this game. If you're not shooting people in the head, you're really missing out. Like, if you think you're losing gunfights some days, and obviously there's a lot of cheaters in the game right now, you're probably just not hitting your shots in upper body to headshots. Because if you watch any pros, I've broken down Biffle, I've broken down the best players in the world's gameplays. I haven't done it on the channel. I'm probably going to do it eventually. But I've done it for myself because I want to get better and better and better. These guys are consistently hitting headshots in upper chest. And why is that? Aim assist. Aim assist on a controller in Warzone is nuts. From someone that doesn't have any aim assist on here, I remember back in the day before aim assist was even like a conversation topic, back in the early Call of Duties. You play Search and Destroy, and through a wall, your controller would move. And you're like, there's someone on the other side of the wall. And that's when people started figuring out what aim assist was, because there was games like Halo that didn't really have aim assist, or very weak aim assist at that. I don't even think they have aim assist though. And then games like this where it's just so strong, and it's always been very strong. But that's what I've kind of noticed. The people that lock in their aim assist the best are amazing with controller. You can't lock in on this. So if you're going to get in a short range gunfight, you have to be perfect with this. There's nothing to help you out. There's no software built in the game to help you out. And this is not me being salty and calling out aim assist. If there has to be aim assist in controllers to compete with this, like, it just has to be. If you haven't ever turned your aim assist off, go do it right now and tell me otherwise in the comments. So that's where I want to jump over to the good old controller. Controller here, in my opinion, has its biggest advantages in Warzone. And more consistently, if you're really good on a controller, I think you're just going to be a more consistent player. Because there's days where, with no help, you're going to miss a lot of shots with this. Like, everyone has an off day. Like, literally everyone. Like, even Huster's had a few, like, literal months where he wasn't playing that great compared to what he normally does. And then you never see any of the guys that play Call of Duty for a living, like Tommy, all these guys have been doing it for years. You never see them have a bad day with a controller unless things just completely go wrong with them. Because this thing will lock on for you if you are in a close range fight. I have noticed significantly at the beginning of games. If you guys, when you guys land and you have that pistol in your hand, you know how easy it is to hit pistol shots on a controller? I instantly have noticed like insane amounts of like just killing people off the rip because I have a controller. Like, it's, and like I said, this isn't me hating on a controller. I am really trying to get my gameplay on my controller as good as my mouse and keyboard, so I can just really like lock it in and tell you guys exactly everything. Obviously, we have a little bit more time before I can get back to that point, but we're getting pretty close. Like, we got a 16 kill gameplay here. That's only 10 less kills than my PR. No, my PR is 27 now, actually, but it's just consistent. Very, very consistent. And like those close range gunfights, man, I probably win about 80% of my close range fights with my mouse and keyboard because I just have very good movement. I put myself in the right spots. I have good aim, obviously, which I have trained over time, by the way. If you don't do aim training or anything like that and you want to get better at mouse and keyboard, you need to download Aim Labs on Steam right this second and go turn it on and turn this video off and go download and practice. Like, that game, like, it helps a ton. I had to do it at Kovacs back in Fortnite, and then I still do it on stream to this day every once in a while where I'm practicing my aim. It's so important on this. Like, you cannot be bad. You cannot miss shots on this. But in close quarters, if I get my movement to where I am on a keyboard, I think I will win 90 to 100% of my gunfights inside of buildings. Because if you guys haven't noticed, aim assist on controller, it locks you on close, like I was saying before, but it also aims more upper body. Like, the aim assist pulls up, like right there. You saw on that shot right there that just happened, it pulled up to his head. Like, I've noticed a lot of times it just pulls up to the head. It's not me aiming for the head because I'm not good enough yet on a controller to like do that. It just pulls up on its own. So close quarter fights, you are absolutely going to destroy people. And that's why you see, I'll talk about it a little bit more in a second, but like top players in the world, most of them are controller players, which is something I really want to talk about. So we'll get into that in just a second here. But so obviously here, I just broke down pretty much Warzone for you, but close quarters in medium range, mattering on the weapon you're in and situation, controller, 100%. Long range and sniping, mouse and keyboard. But you do have the obvious advantage of being able to switch your keybinds whatever you want. Everyone's keybinds are different. That's why I haven't ever posted a video on it, because over like years and years of playing mouse and keyboard, especially in Fortnite where you have so many keybinds, I change my key bindings all the time. You have to work with your hands. Everyone's hands are different. So one person might be better with their thumb, so they might have a few extra key binds that they can reach with their thumb. Some people might actually have a pinky finger and ring finger that work. Mine do not work. So I have nothing bind to these that are hard to hit. Just the things like, so everyone wants to copy other people's key binds when they're not for them. But let's talk about something a little different here. Let's talk about best players in Call of Duty right now. Top performers going off of money earned. Aiden, Rated, Tommy. Top 3 players in the world. Aiden used to play Wagers. Rated and Tommy were both Call of Duty pros. They all play on controller. All play on controller. So does that make them better? Maybe. Obviously, guys, there is the big thing where a lot of mouse and keyboard players don't play Call of Duty. They grew up playing CSGO. They grew up playing all these other games. They still play Fortnite. They still play a lot of games out there for them. But number 4 on the list is Huskers. You guys don't know who Huskers is. I think pretty much everyone does in the Call of Duty community, especially the Warzone community. Huskers went pro in Apex. He went pro in H1Z1. He went pro in pretty much every single BR. The dude's an absolute monster. Another one that comes to my head right off the bat that's exactly like that is Cloaksy. Cloaksy is one of the best players in the game, whether you want to admit it or not. He played in his first tournament like last week in like months, because it was a LAN where, or not a LAN, but when everyone was playing each other in that custom match. So all pro players were in the same lobby. He got like the 5th most kills. So argue it all you want. Cloaksy's an absolute S tier player. You guys cracked. But so there is good players out there. But as we go down the list here, so we have out of the top 4, 1 keyboard and mouse player, 5 Super Evan, 6 Biffle, 7 Allman, 8 Warzy, 9 Noobs, 10 Z-Laner, 11 Swag, 12 Joe Woe, 13 Juxies, 14 Stuaki, 15 FIFA, Destroy, Unrational. Goes all the way down to number 18 before we hit another mouse and keyboard player. If one of those guys was a mouse and keyboard player with Juxies or Stuaki, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they play controller. I've watched their streams, and I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure they do. So all the way down to 18, we have Symphony. And Symphony doesn't even really play competitive really anymore, but you can just see how consistent that is for controller, because Warzone is a game where if you're playing fast pace, you're pushing fights and you're getting those, enforcing those short range engagements where you just don't lose on a controller. Yes, you can get sniped and outplayed with a mouse and keyboard at some point or another, but in this game, consistency is key. We have Mutex at 19, we have Frozone at 20. Frozone, mouse and keyboard player. So we had 3 in the top 20. There might be 4. I might be wrong. 3 of them in the top 20, though. I know for a fact. And then going down from there, top 25, TP's the only other guy on the list that is a keyboard and mouse player at times, but he plays controller most of the time. Every tournament, TP, as anyone knows, TP is a Call of Duty world champion. He does announcing for Call of Duty. He's one of the best Warzone players in the world. He was the best Blackout player. Like, there's so many good things that TP does. He's definitely like an S tier player to me because he has 47 kills on a mouse and keyboard, 46 on a controller or something like that, or one way or the other. But he's the perfect example of you can do both. And that's what I want to do. I want to get to that point. Obviously, if I could drop 46 kill games, we probably wouldn't be making this video right now. We'd probably be dropping a 46 kill gameplay. But I want to be able to do both very consistently because I think there is a place for both of these at the end of the day. Like, that's where I want to kind of finish up everything. If you made it this far into the video, I really do appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys want more content, like the video, all that good stuff. Comment below and let me know if you're a mouse and keyboard player or a controller player. But just to wrap things up, you can do both. You can do whichever is more comfortable to you. If you feel like you're peaking on one, try the other maybe. But I will say, if you're just using a standard controller, it's kind of hard to switch over from mouse and keyboard because I tried for a little bit and it just doesn't work compared to a scuff controller with all the slide canceling, everything you have to do in this game to get that movement to feel as good as a keyboard, which I'm getting close to. And I honestly think controller movement actually does have advantages. I probably should have talked about that a little bit, but I do think it is easier to do movement. Shooting while moving, though, I think goes to keyboard and mouse. But just standard movement, I think, is easier on a controller. Slide canceling is really easy. But you can do both. At the end of the day, out of the top 25 players, we see about 3 mouse and keyboard players. That is because the Call of Duty community is mostly controller players. And, like, most of these guys have, even though you guys probably haven't heard of 90% of them, I used to play against, like, probably about 10 of these guys back in the day in Call of Duty tournaments and stuff like that. So, not tournaments, I played leagues and GBs like I was saying earlier. But that's about it for me today, guys. I just wanted to put it out there that you can do whichever one that you prefer. If you feel like you're getting stuck, try the other one. Try something new, change your sensitivity. You can make it work. But I think at the end of the day, I think it is a little bit more consistent on controller if you're going for high kill games, just because you're pushing fights all the time with your SMGs. Those medium to long range fights, you're gonna win on that mouse and keyboard. So if you play to that style, either one. Like for me, I want long range engagements and medium range fights with my mouse. If I'm in a building with you with the controller though, watch out. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Have a wonderful rest of the day. I love you. So many good things coming to the channel, closing in on that 10K subs even faster than ever. Appreciate ya. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, wherever you are, and peace out.